So we are now back up in our house in Virginia. And you know, in our house in Florida, we have a hot tub and we absolutely love it. We don't have one in here in Virginia. I'm going to remedy that. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. And you know, the original plan, when I built this addition on this house in Virginia, I put that little deck on there. The original plan was that right beside it, right there in that open area, we were going to put a hot tub. We didn't have the money for it at the time, so we didn't do anything with it. We got down to Florida and we decided to get a hot tub down there, and we got an inflatable. Essentially because, well, for one thing, you can get one for $300 instead of $4,000 or $5,000. But also, if we got a permanent full-time, you know, fiberglass hot tub down there, we're gone 6 months out of the year, and it was sitting right on the front porch, and we were afraid it was going to walk away. So we got the hot tub, the inflatable. Not only was it $300 or $350, but then we can also deflate it and put it away when we're gone. Now up here, we would still also, I would like to really get a permanent one, but like I said, $4,000 or $5,000. We can't afford that right now. So we're going to get another inflatable for up here temporarily until we can afford a real one. But in the meantime, I need to finish building that deck so we have somewhere to put it on. You see, the original plan when I built this, I just built that little stoop with steps over there, and the hot tub was going to be sitting in here and it was going to be lower. But now that we've got the one in Florida and Elizabeth is climbing in and out of it, we've realized that if it was lower, she would have a hard time stepping up onto the deck to climb out of it. So what I'm going to have to do is actually extend that deck all the way into the corner and make this all level so that we can have a good place to set it, and she'll be able to get out without any problems. Probably put a grab bar against the wall over there to help her get out. So I'm going to be building a deck here. So there's the area where the new deck will be for the new hot tub. Now here's the challenge. The temporary inflatable one that we're going to get is going to be a small one, just like the one in Florida, that's going to go right in here. So I could just extend that deck from there right straight over. But the challenge is the permanent one that we want to get is actually octagon shaped, but it's 69 inches across each way. 69 inches comes out about 2 feet past this corner, and the way I had it designed here originally, it was going to sit down on the ground so that it wouldn't have been a problem. That's why I built the patio to go out past there. But if I'm going to have to build a deck, that means the new deck is going to have to extend out a couple feet past there, and I really need a post. And so if I come 8 feet out, the post has to go basically right here in the middle of this wall, and right there is the whole septic tank. That's the access panel to the septic tank, so the septic tank ends right there. There really isn't room here unless I redo this whole wall, which would be a major amount of work. So I'm going to have to put the post right about here and then cantilever it over a foot or two to be able to have room, not for the temporary one that we're putting here, but for the permanent one that's going to extend 2 feet out past the end of the deck there. I don't want to build a temporary deck and then have to redo it again. I want to do it and get it actually prepared for the permanent one, even though we're still using the inflatable right now. So in Florida you can dig the entire hole just using one of these because it's all sand and it's very easy digging. But in most of the rest of the country it's much harder digging, and you got to do something like this. Break up the hard ground and all the rocks that are in there. Okay, the frost line in this area is about 2 feet. So it looks like we're good there. Get down below the frost line to keep the frost from making the deck heave. Now I got this tube for the concrete, something that I learned by experience many years ago. When you're doing this, you don't want to just put the tube all the way down inside of there and then pour it with concrete, because you've got this area around here that you have to fill in with dirt, and if you have any holes or areas that don't get filled in, or if it doesn't get packed enough, then over time this can actually start to lean like that, and that can create all kinds of problems. So what I do now, I just dig the hole, fill it with concrete like that. That way the concrete actually fills in all takes the shape of the hole. It's not going to fall over. And then I cut just a strip like this and put it right there on the top, just right a few inches, to form like this so that it looks good coming out of the ground. Much more stable, works much better, but it still looks the same. So I had bought two 80-pound bags of concrete because I didn't really know how much I needed. Turns out one bag was exactly what I needed to fill this hole. So now I got to wait until tomorrow and let this set up.
Boy, that is one sturdy piece of wood.
What?
This wood is sturdy.
Well, yeah, this is only 5 feet long. I've been handling 8-footers.
Oh my goodness. Okay. It has to go right to. There. Okay, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay, should I get out of the way?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Joanne.
That helped?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. Okay. Hold that over there.
Just like this,
Just put it against the board.
like this.
Yep.
Okay. You line that up and then we'll be able to line this up. Yeah, adjust it to where you need it. I'll put it.
All right, so obviously I still need to put another joist in here,
Yes.
but the inflatable tub that we have will easily fit back in there. But when we get the permanent fiberglass one, the corner will be probably, give or take, an inch or two, right about here.
Oh, that
Which
doesn't
means
look
we'll
bad.
have this much room to walk around.
Yeah.
Of course, there'll be a railing here.
That's not bad, huh?
That should be plenty of room.
That should be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll work.
That's excellent.
Trying to drive a nail in at an angle right here when this is all bouncy just simply doesn't work. So for this I use a screw. Much better. Now I can put nails in along here. Okay, I've got the framing done and I'm ready to put on the decking, and I want to show you what I've done here before I do the decking. This is a very strongly built, very beefy deck because it's going to hold a lot of weight. The inflatable hot tub doesn't weigh that much, but the permanent one that we want to get, fiberglass one, weighs 475 pounds by itself, and then it has about 1,600 pounds of water in it, something like that. So it's just over 2,000 pounds just for the hot tub, and then you put the weight of me and Elizabeth in there. So it's going to have to hold well over a ton. So a deck with this span usually would be a 2x8 on 16-inch centers. I built this at a 2x10s on 12-inch centers, and so that'll hold a lot more. Also, I really wanted to put, well, it's attached here, and normally that would be enough cantilever, you wouldn't need another post. But because of the weight, I wanted to put a post under the corner, but of course, as I talked about earlier, that wall is in the way. So I put the post right there. That's the best I can do on top of a double here and a double there. That should be plenty to hold it. And then of course I got joist hangers all around on there. And then down underneath, because this is still like a 7-foot span, down underneath I put this 4x4 sitting on blocks right there, and it's up tight against the bottom of the joist. I did not dig down and put a pier underneath of there. I just set those on the ground, but that'll be basically right in the center of where the hot tub is. And if the joists start to sag at all, it'll go right onto that. So this is a well-built, heavy-duty deck. Even with holding the weight, I am confident that it's not going to be a problem. And even if for some reason it is, this thing's not 8 feet in the air that's going to fall down. If the whole thing should fall, it's only going to fall 6 inches. So it won't be catastrophic if that should ever happen. But I'm confident that it will not. Over here
I wanted to kind of square that off, but once again, right down in there is the septic tank. I can't put another post there, so I did it like this. If I had run this all the way across without a post, that would be too far out, it wouldn't hold. But this only goes out about 18 inches. That'll be fine to hold that. So now I'm ready to start putting on the decking. I'm not going to use the typical wood like that. I'm going to be using this composite wood. I've always liked this, but I've never used it because it's very expensive. An 8-foot piece of pressure treated lumber like that costs $10. An 8-foot piece of this costs $20, so it's exactly twice as much. Like I said, I've never used it before, but I'm going to use it here because we will be out here barefoot. And when you first put this out, that's fine. But after a few years, this could start to splinter up and all that as it weathers. I don't want us to be getting splinters in our feet. This stuff has like a 50-year life on it. It's not going to splinter or peel or anything like that. So I decided to go ahead and use this composite decking. Now, something that I learned from experience many years ago, when you're putting the decking on, I always used to start from the wall and come out. And then you never have the exact width where you're going to use a full one on the end. And invariably I would end up with a piece that would have to be ripped down, that would, like the last one would come there. And I'd have this little piece that I would have to put here. And that's on the edge where if you step on it, it's going to roll or fall off or whatever. It's not a good situation. So now I start here and I go that way. That way if I have just a little strip, it goes way back there against the wall. And it is not a problem at all as far as weight bearing. And it also looks much better to have a full piece out here than to have that little strip. Took me a couple years of doing this to figure that out. Okay, so like I said, I've never used this before. And when I screw this in, it ends up with some of the material here. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. I mean, I could take a utility knife and go around and cut that off, but man, that would be tedious. I wonder if it would help if I pre-drilled a hole first. Let me try that. Okay, so let's try this. I don't want to go all the way into the joist, just through the top board there. Okay, well, I guess that's the way to do it. Now, as I said when I first started using this, I've never used it before. I didn't really know what to expect. When I just drilled right down through, it did all of this, which I'm going to have to come back and cut with a utility knife. That's just going to be a ridiculous amount of work. So then I pre-drilled, and when I did, I didn't get this, but it's still quite a bit of a lump there where the material squeezed out over the head of the screw, which is beveled like this, and that's what pushed that out. That's still, walking on that on bare feet, that's not going to be very comfortable. So I bought this countersink, and this will be a third project because I'll have to drill a hole and then drill a little bit of a countersink hole with this and then put in the screw. 3 operations instead of 2. It's going to slow me down, but hopefully that'll get rid of these lumps and make the whole thing much more comfortable to walk on in bare feet. Okay, so I've already got the hole drilled. Now I have that little countersink here.
See how this works. Yeah, it just drills a little bit of a hole there to make room for the head of the screw. Now I got to change my bit. All right, that's the answer. It's nice and smooth, no little lump like here. Yep. Okay. I'm not happy with the process because now I got to add a third step to do this countersink, but I'm very happy with the outcome. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So when I put each plank down, I'll drill all the holes, and then I'll switch to this and countersink all of them, and then switch to this and and drill them all. Actually, I have two drills. So for one drill, I'll keep the drill bit in there, and then for this one, I'll just switch back and forth between these two. Time consuming, but necessary. Okay, so the deck itself is now finished. I still have to do the railings, obviously, and I got to deal with this down here, and I'll talk about that later. But I'm going to go ahead and set up our portable hot tub, which just came in that box, because we are both very eager to get started soaking. And when we set that up and then fill it with water, it takes 24 to 48 hours to get hot enough to climb into it. So I'm going to set that up now and get it starting to heat the water, and then I'll continue working on the railings. So there's an air pump inside of here that creates the bubbles, and you use that air pump to self-inflate the tub. It's pretty cool. They give you this hose for that. Put that there, plug it in down here. There it is, fast and easy, pretty cool. Now all I have to do is just fill it with water and then turn on the heater. So I set this tub up last night, put water in it, plugged it in to heat up. I was expecting it to take at least 24 hours. lo and behold, I was very surprised this morning to find out it was already up to 104 degrees at 8 o'clock this morning. So, you know, I'm I'm not getting younger, and this work is getting more and more difficult. I am so sore I can hardly move, stiff from all the work that I've been doing. So I climbed into the tub this morning and soaked for 15 minutes. Oh, what a difference. I can move again. So I'm very excited about having this. So now, this morning I still need to build the railings on there.
All right, beautiful.
Well, this deck is now finished. The hot tub is in and working. We have soaked in it several times already. We absolutely love it. But what about here, Bill? Why don't you have a railing there? Well, that's going to be phase 2. Let me tell you about it. See, here's the deal. We want a shower out here, okay? So we can either take a shower before we get in or else after we get out. When I originally designed this, I did this stone patio down here, and I thought the hot tub was going to be down at that lower level. You just step out and go right over here and have the shower. This is all stone. Filled it with stone all the way down, put a drain pipe, perforated drain pipe down underneath so it'll drain the water away for the drain. You know, we're not really planning on using any soap out here, so it'll just be basically water draining off. That won't be an issue. Now here's the problem. Here's how I was going to design this. I was going to put a copper pipe going up the wall to the shower head with controls, and then, you know, this has to be frost proof in the winter. So this is my little frost proof spigot for the hose. I was going to get 2 more of those and put them up here, one for hot and one for cold. And this right here is the box where the joists are running this way, and then the floor is right about here. So those faucets, frost-proof faucets, have to come out down below so I can crawl into the crawl space and run the pipe down there. If they would come in up here, then I have to take the wall all apart and run pipes up inside the wall. That doesn't really work. So I did it this way. Now this will be phase 2. I'm not going to be doing this right now, but this will step down 1 step and put the rest of the deck, and I'll square it off, make it a little bigger. Put the rest of the deck right down about here. That way I can put those 2 frost-proof faucets here. And then what I'll do is just cut a short piece of garden hose
hook it on there, and then hook it onto the pipe that I have for the shower head. So in the winter, all I have to do is take off that short piece of garden hose. All the water will drain out, and I won't have any problem with freezing over the winter when we go to Florida. But then when we get here in the summer, I just put that little piece of hose in. Perfect shower. So we're really excited about that. Shower head will be somewhere over here, pointing this way. I think it'll work well. But I don't really foresee finishing that even this year, because I still have to do a lot of work on the kitchen inside, and then we are taking an RV trip this summer, so this will be next year. But for now, all of this is working well for us. So there's a section here that could be dangerous for Elizabeth without a railing, but from the hot tub she'll use that grab bar to help her stand up, and then she'll walk down to this end and use that grab bar to help her step out, and she will stay over here. She will stay over here on the end. She won't even have any reason to walk over there. So we're both not worried at all that it's going to be any kind of a problem for her. So how is it?
Oh, wonderful, of course. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful.
Ooh.
It's definitely,
Ooh, it's hot.
yeah, it's definitely 104 degrees.
Yes. So what do you think, dear one? Is this going to work?
Oh, yes. I love it back in here. This is so nice, and I can, you know, there's shelter here, but I can also look up and just see the sky, and I don't know, the birds, and it's just, this is so good for my bones and joints.
This is on the back side of the house, and in this little alcove is completely private, so we don't have to worry about that. And it's just wonderful to have a tub in both places now.
Oh my goodness, yes. It really, really does help. You know, we don't stand more than about maybe 15 minutes,
Yeah.
but it really helps the joints and the sore muscles, and yep, I love it.
So the tub that we bought in Florida, the brand name was Relax without an A.
The RELX.
And we've actually used it for 2 seasons now, and it's worked well. We haven't done a review on it, but it's really worked well. So when we wanted to get this one, we were going to get the same one. We got it on Amazon and went back to get another one on Amazon, and it said that it was no longer available.
But we just couldn't find it.
I don't know if it's no longer made or if it's just no longer carried on Amazon. Anyway, so Amazon recommended this one, and this is called, it's a weird name, it's Edo Story, and I'll write it down here. So we bought it. It was $389, I think. It's virtually identical to the Relax one that we had in Florida.
Yes.
The only difference is that other one in Florida had little seating pads on the floor. This one doesn't have that, but other than that, it's absolutely identical.
I think this one might be just a touch wider. That's about all I can really figure as far as differences.
So we were happy with the other one for a couple years, so we're pretty confident that this one's going to do just as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So then when we leave, you know, to go back to Florida, we can pack this up and put it away for the winter. So,
And then set the other one up in the front porch in Florida.
yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to know that the one in Florida is like packed up and put away. There's no way that it's going to attract kids or somebody wanting to, you know, it's just better and safer. So of course we would leave it empty anyway, but still.
So I started the construction of this addition. Was it 3 years ago?
I think
Or 4 years ago?
it might have been 4.
But when I did that, I planned all of this. That's why I put this door right here. A lot of people were questioning why we did that.
Yes.
And it's so nice after so many years to finally see it come to fruition.
Yes. Yes. I'm truly looking forward to whenever it works out to actually even have that little step down into the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because that way when I get out, I just go ahead and rinse all the chlorine. There's not much chlorine. We actually have something that's mainly minerals and a little bit of chlorine, but we watch the levels carefully. But it's a wonderful setup now, but it's going to be really awesome when it's completely done. Yeah.
Well, if you're still watching, thank you. This is a long video.
Yes.
So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
We do love you guys and appreciate you, and we will see you soon.
Oh, and it does have bubbles.
Oh, yeah. We should show you the bubbles. Woohoo!